Amazon's profits have more than tripled in the last 2 years, and it isn't because people love buying stuff from their website. The rise in profits is partly due to the company's government contracts for cloud computing, but their biggest prize, a $10 billion contract, is now held up in the courts. I have Farron Cousins from the Trial Lawyer magazine to talk about it. We seem like we're doing a lot of stories on Amazon lately. This is a story that, oddly enough, at least written corporate media is picking up on it. Great story that actually appeared in the Wall Street Journal and in Mother Jones. Here's the deal. There's this thing called the Jedi Cloud. By its definition, the Jedi Cloud sounds pretty ominous by itself. Right. So Amazon bid on being able to have the Jedi Cloud be something that they take care of and they house and they make all the money on, $10 billion worth of money on it. And now we find out it wasn't a fair fight. We find out that Amazon might have tried to tip the scales of justice where it comes to fair play on this case.
Right. I mean, basically, to strip it down to the bare bones, Amazon essentially had a guy on the inside, a man by the name of Diop Ubi. He worked for Amazon. He leaves Amazon, goes to work for the Defense Department, is there for about a year, and while he's there, he convinces the Defense Department, we need to get into cloud computing, move away from traditional servers, go to cloud computing. Then Mr. Ubi leaves the State Department and goes back to work for Amazon, who just happened at the time they were launching their massive cloud computing. AWS is that division, and they wanted these government contracts. So this guy came from Amazon to the State Department, helped put in the good word for Amazon, tweeted out all kinds of praise for Bezos while he was at the State Department.
It's a lot worse than that.
And blog posts. It's very deep.
Lots worse than that. First of all, let's talk the Jedi Cloud. As I say, it sounds pretty ominous, but it's where the military will store all of their digital information in one place.
Right.
Now, I don't know that sounds like a good idea, but somebody along the way said, yeah, let's store everything in one place where somebody can hack into it just in one place and make it convenient. But here's what's interesting. Oracle filed this lawsuit. Oracle had a similar program that they were trying to sell. Now, what this cat did that worked for Amazon and then worked for the Defense Department and then worked for Amazon again, what he did is he tried to move the ball. The conflict was ridiculous, but he tried to move the ball to where all of the standards for the contract fit directly into what the standards were at Amazon and varied from the Oracle standards. In the process, I think what's incredible, though, is he actually spied on the competitors while he was working with the government. He got information about competitors that were coming in to try to get the same contract. And, somebody at Amazon said, yeah, this is okay with me. Business as usual. What's your take?
Well, it's interesting because I don't think enough people appreciate the fact that Amazon, the bulk of their profits are coming from these government contracts. This $10 billion one that's up in the air right now for them, this was not the first. It's not going to be the last. But it's what's driving more than 50% of their yearly profits. And as you already pointed out, before they got into this government contract business, they were pulling in a couple billion a year. And then last year, suddenly they're making more than $10 billion a year. And again, more than half of that is from these kinds of contracts. So they have this guy, this Diop Ubi, who goes in there, does everything he can to steer it towards Amazon, spying on the competitors, knowing what they're doing, still being friends with Amazon, hyping Bezos up to the Defense Department, and suddenly Amazon gets awarded the contract until Oracle has to step in and say, wait a minute, something isn't right here. The Defense Department says they did everything properly, but we have all of this info showing that no, Amazon was gaming it from the start.
Okay, so you got the obvious conflict. He works for Amazon, then works for the government, then works for Amazon. He's there as a plant by Amazon. Very clear. Next thing is we find that he's using that position to, as you point out, spy on his competitors. Thirdly, what he's doing is he's moving the standard to a point to where it fits in perfectly with Amazon and way different from Oracle. And then he uses his position this is where it really gets weird. Amazon, as an inducement to him, actually offered to buy a startup company that he owned. In other words, it sounds like bribery. I mean, if you take a look at what the complaint is, well, no, we're saying there's a conflict of interest. It's far more than that when you start looking at this. I wonder if this kind of sounds like a payback from Trump kind of too, doesn't it? I mean, if you want to go after Amazon, I mean, Bezos and Trump, not a match made in heaven. And Trump wants to go after Bezos. This is a pretty good vehicle. This is a $10 billion vehicle.
And you couldn't even argue he's doing it politically here. There is plenty of real evidence to show that Amazon should not be awarded this contract. And not even all of it has to do with the conflict of interest here. They just had a massive data breach that took place, I think, the day or two before Black Friday of this past year, 2018, that leaked user data, addresses. Some people may have had their financial information stolen. Are these the people we want controlling the government secrets, the military secrets, all of that in their cloud when they can't even keep our credit card information safe?
That's the bigger issue here, isn't it? Yeah. We're going to have all of this, all the most special military digital secrets in one place, controlled by the company who blew it. Has blown it a couple of times, and now we're saying, yeah, we'll pay you $10 billion to do that.
Right. It's about as reliable as giving it to Facebook.
I don't know which is worse.